last saw me, I have been magically transported from somewhere near Long Buckby, Northamptonshire, up to where I am now in Aston, in Birmingham. And that is because, as I've mentioned loads of times before, I had some friends come and join me, and they helped me up, which we didn't film, of course, to Birmingham. We've had a lovely week bimbling around BCN, and it's now time to leave and go back to Milton Keynes. The route back to Milton Keynes is fairly straightforward. I'm going the long way round because it has fewer locks and they're mostly narrow. So I'm going to go today, this is the afternoon, my friends have only just left me. I'm going to go today down to Minworth, which is on the outskirts of Birmingham. Then we're going to go up the Birmingham and Fazeley Canal to Fazeley, and then from there the Coventry Canal to Coventry, well, near Coventry, and then Nuneaton, and then Rugby on the Oxford Canal, and then back to join the Grand Union Canal at Braunston, and essentially straight south down the Grand Union Canal to Milton Keynes, where I generally tend to hang around for most of the time. So with a bit of luck, that'll be straightforward. I'm hoping that this video is not too shaky, but it is, you know, a camera mounted on a boat, so there's a very good chance that it will be shaky. But there you go. And I will see you as we go along. One of the things which is true about the BCN is that it used to have 160 miles of canals, and it now has only 100 miles. And sort of part of the reason are things like this on the right hand side. So this looks like it's going to be a junction. It is in fact turning into a wharf, but the wharf is long since disused, and you can see, whilst it looked it is still in water, this one, many of them aren't, but you'd struggle to get a boat down there, I think. Certainly struggle to get it out again. And there's many more turnings, junctions, bridges and canals on the BCN that simply do not exist anymore. Okay, what you can see in the distance there is the M6, and in fact we are approaching Salford Junction, which is itself underneath Spaghetti Junction, and I shall show it to you more closely when we get there. I probably won't be able to do lots of shots upwards because obviously I'm steering a boat, but it is quite impressive. This is actually not either the edge of Birmingham or the edge of the BCN, but it sort of feels like it. It feels like crossing the M6 is, you know, a bit like going outside the M25. Birmingham does actually, or at least Birmingham and its suburbs, does continue for quite some time before you get into thoroughly rural canal. But this feels like a crossing. I'll show you more when we get there. So this, up until 40 or 50 years ago, was a rural junction more or less in the countryside. It's a lovely road bridge over the river and a little bridge for us to go under. It was not this Stygian gloom of a concrete cathedral. Nevertheless, it's sort of quite impressive. And at least you're weatherproof when you go into the junction. As we go around the junction, we will see that the canal, we're going to go around to the right, which is actually south, even though the canal's going to eventually take us north, such that we can go south again. Let me just sound my horn. Thank you. And you will see that actually you can see how it used to be really very rural. Let me show you. This, for example, hideous mess of corrugated iron above us. Should, by rights, look like quite a nice sandstone bridge and concrete bridge, albeit covered in graffiti. And then as we get round this corner and I attempt to avoid twocking the workboat, successfully as it happens, you can see the delightful little, actually not towards the ironworks I don't think, but iron bridge covering the junction of these two canals. Lovely and rural, isn't it pretty? Let's get past this and then we'll chat again. I always feel that the BCN, which arrives in the centre of Birmingham with such touristy, shiny goodness, kind of sneaks out the back of Birmingham in disgrace. It sort of looks like slinking away with our tail between our legs. And one of the presents which the BCN has given me is, I think, a number of plastic bags wrapped around my propeller. So in due course, I'm going to stop and empty my wee hatch of scaggy old plastic. Stopped because there is something trapped around my propeller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my lovely big gauntlets, care to assume the position, and I'm going to empty my wheat hatch. I think it's safe to assume that this sodden shirt is not doing a great deal for the mechanical efficiency of my propeller. So with it now removed, I'm now going to get going again. Right, emptying has been done. The shirt is in the bin. The gauntlet is back where it should be, and that feels an awful lot better. Let's do some cracking on. Alright, it's getting towards the end of the day. The light is starting to fade and I need to find somewhere to moor. So the place I have chosen is an official visitor mooring just below Minworth Bottom Lock. I have done 2 Minworth locks, so I have lock number 3 to go, and then we shall choose somewhere, or we shall find the mooring and we shall moor. And that will be me for today. See you in a bit. That's me done for the day. It is about 5:45. It's time I stopped, had something to eat, and got plenty of sleep, because tomorrow we have got to go through Curdworth locks, of which there are 11, and head up towards Fazeley and Fazeley Junction. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.